There we go.
Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Sit here for an hour bitching about this and then look over like, oh shit, it still says standby.
That happened one time. Not for like an hour, for like maybe 5 minutes. It was something with me and Dave, and we referenced it at the beginning of. God damn it! I can't remember. I can't remember what it was, but thank God we were only talking for like 5 minutes.
I think that happened with a video me and Sarah did one time, but I think that was way back in like when we were still not realizing that you could put the camera on the dashboard.
Oh yeah.
We were like panning back and forth at each other. Like I was getting the camera ready, and she just started like launching it. Like it's like, so we just went and saw this. I'm like,
steady, easy. Yeah,
like,
we had to
not on.
redo some of Faith of Our Fathers too, if I remember right. But just like, don't worry, Dave will give his thoughts on this movie.
I'm sure in great lengthy detail.
Yeah.
He'll be the guy in the theater with a fucking notepad like, this is shit I don't like. This is shit I don't like.
I think Spoonie did that during Transformers 3.
Run out of room, started writing on his arm.
Using Sarah's other arm that she doesn't write trailers on.
What's on that side? Zootopia? Okay, let me borrow the other side.
Dave's car broke down. You'll see two Batman v Superman videos, because Dave definitely wants to see this and talk about it. Which is good that there'll be something, because I got nothing.
It's kind of one of those things where there's so many dumb things. There's so many leaps of logic, or just times where it feels like there were several points in this where I felt like we missed a reel. Like it jumped at, like I felt like we missed like 15 minutes of like something important, because then we'd just be somewhere else and things would already be happening. It's like, should that have been set up at some point? Or
this movie has zero focus. It's zero focus in any way, shape, or form.
It's like they wrote a script that would be like 8 hours long, and then they just grabbed the pages that they felt were most important. Like this feels like the Cliff Notes to an entire like series run of something.
It absolutely does. It's jumping around so much like it's a soap opera. One important thing happened. The Capitol building gets blown up.
And that gets almost completely ignored.
Yeah, the next two scenes are like, we're in the desert. We're with somebody else. And then a kind of brief mention to the Capitol building with them burning Superman in effigy and shit. It doesn't feel like the second part of a movie. It feels like the fourth part, and we missed parts 2 and 3.
Well, that's how I felt like, okay, well, I mean, you've seen the trailers, Batman does at some point v Superman.
Oh, that.
And, right, that last reel of the film. Where they actually talk to each other.
5 minutes of the last reel of the film. I have a really important question about this movie, and I hope to God you can answer it.
Okay.
What was this movie about?
We see when a Batman and a Superman love each other very much. This was like they took like 5 graphic novels at random and threw it in a pile. Like what? Like, there's the script.
Yeah, you're gonna find something in there you might like, and I do. I'll get to that in a second. But I don't have as seething anger about this movie as Man of Steel. I almost wish I did, because at least I had something to talk about.
Judging by like the reviews that I've seen on like Rotten Tomatoes and shit like that today, like I feel like we're the only people who are missing out on like you almost know what I almost fucking wondered like this morning. Like I was sitting there and I was almost wondering like, what are the odds that it'll end up being like we're the only like 3 fucking people who love this movie.
You know what? I mean, look, Dave is not looking forward to this movie. I really was giving this movie a chance. I wasn't scared away by any trailers or anything like that. No, I didn't like the first one at all, but I thought, I don't know, maybe this one has some of the same problems as the first one. A lot of it has to do with character, meaning they're just plot points. That's it.
Yeah, there's no one in this that's an actual person.
Not really.
Like, they're who they are, and that's it. Like, you're Batman. Okay, what about when he's not in the suit? He's still doing Batman stuff, he's just not wearing the cape. It's like, what else about him? He's Batman.
Every character is like, and every character is introduced into this movie like they've been introduced already. Suddenly there's Lex Luthor. Suddenly there's Diana Prince. She pops up like half a dozen times in the movie before, like it's just like suddenly in the last final act of the film, she just suddenly just pops up and everybody's like, okay, you seem like you know what's going on and are more than capable of. Like, it seemed like half the fight was watching her do stuff. It's like, we have zero investment in this character so far. Like yeah, like you did like the whole like ooh, who is she, like, you know, popping in and out doing something, like thing there at the, you know, the middle of the film when we first see her, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of similar to how like they introed like Anne Hathaway in Nolan's third Batman movie. But then we found out more about her, and she became a character in the movie, not just a person who he just keeps seeing at parties. You know what? All of it could have been cut out of the script.
Oh, yeah.
It's there just to set up future movies. That's it. There's probably half a dozen characters, plot points that don't need to be here. This is a 2.5-hour movie. At best, it's about a 90-minute plot.
Well, yeah, like, Lois Lane is not even important to this movie. Her entire, like, every scene with her in it could be cut out and the movie would function no differently. Like, the whole thing with her, like, trying to find out, like, the origins of that bullet. Oh, it's LexCorp. And then she gets kidnapped only for that to be a reason for Superman to show up. It's like, that whole everything about it was just so that there was a reason for Amy Adams to be in the movie.
They got more use out of Michael Shannon.
And he was just there. He was just a fucking dead body.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like there.
And also, scenes can be interchanged with each other and still function, and still I would come away with this with the same opinion about it. It wouldn't have made it any more or less confusing when he was on top of the mountain with his dad, when he's with his mom, when
there's all these like weird fucking dream sequences.
This has more fake out dream sequences than like a fucking Blumhouse movie. There's one within a fucking dream sequence.
It's like, damn, like we're getting into like some fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street shit with this. Like, like that had fewer dream sequences. A movie about people falling asleep.
And yeah. And they're so jarring because Snyder is so obsessed with the visuals in this movie that he can't pace the fucking thing. He can't focus on one goddamn thing. And instead, we get these dream sequences in this movie that is very stylistic. So at first, you don't recognize right away that it's a dream sequence. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? The bats are making him float?
Yeah, it's like we're watching that and it's like, okay, that's a thing. And then it's like, yeah. And in my dream, it's like, oh, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for pointing that out. 5 minutes into this. And watching a goddamn kid float out of a tunnel in a fucking bat tornado.
And then... Oh, I think Ryan's working on that movie
now. Ryan, get on it. Bat-nado. Also, fucking credit for that one.
And then there's one where it's one of the clips you've seen where Batman's in the overcoat.
Scratch that Bat Twister.
Bat Twister. Yes, Night of the Bat Twisters. And then, like, he's fighting these guys shooting at him, and then, I don't know, like, the monkeys from Wizard of Oz come floating out of the sky.
Like, watching that scene, because, like, he's sitting there, like, staring at his computer, it's, like, loading 2%, loading 3%, and then all of a sudden, it's just, boom, we're in the desert. He's dressed like, honestly, he was dressed like Kevin Smith dressed as Batman and fucking Mallrats, which I almost have to wonder, like, okay, he's Batman wearing a trench coat and goggles, like, come on, guys. I mean,
it's like when the Ninja Turtles put on a trench coat and a hat, walk down the street.
It's like, no, that man, he's totally not the Bat.
And then
but yeah, it's like, he's out there, like, fighting soldiers and shooting the fuck out of people. Like, Batman shoots so many people, you know, just like Batman does.
I don't know how mad I can get at that. One of my favorite movies of all time is '89 Batman. He murders so many people in that movie.
Fucking Affleck crushes Keaton's kill count, though. I mean, he kills so many people in this movie.
And that is
my God.
If I could get real quick, that'll go into what I do like about this movie, and that is that somewhere in the middle of all of this mess, all of this Snyder ego on screen, is this kind of kick-ass Keaton Batman movie. This is a Michael Keaton Batman movie. Like, the scenes with Batman.
Just doesn't talk, just shows up, punch a dude in the throat, like, drop him off a ledge. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he's fine. It was only 4 stories up. I mean, he'll probably learn to walk again.
I mean, it makes no sense when, like, Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent are, like, kind of doing that debate with each other about vigilantism and everything, and it's like, you're both bad. Like,
yeah.
This isn't like Matt Murdock debating Frank Castle on the rooftop, and
it's like, I beat people up, you shoot them in the head, like, and?
Like, Batman fucking brands people, fucking shoot a motherfucker. Like, yeah, well, you toppled a building over and blew up a gas station. Let's not be pointing fingers here, guys.
Amongst other things.
I really loved Ben Affleck in this movie.
No, he's really enjoyable. For the brief bits that he's in there, Jeremy Irons as Alfred,
yeah,
I think really works, you know, kind of making him less like the old, like, you know, doting butler.
Kind of burnt out.
And yeah, like, it's sort of like a continuation of kind of like the way that they characterize him in stuff like the TV show Gotham, where he's, you know, he's a butler, but I mean, this dude has seen some shit before he's just like, all right, whatever, I'll buttle.
Yeah, there's not really a scene in this movie where he's, like, serving, like, a plate of drinks or anything like that.
It's vichyssoise, so it's supposed to be cold.
Oh.
In that case, it's delicious, Alfred, thank you.
No,
But yeah, he's just, like, sitting there just muttering to himself, wearing, like, fucking, like, combat fatigues in the cave, like, sipping down a bourbon, like...
Yeah.
Like, alright.
Steampunk Alfred.
Although I love that it's Alfred, played by fucking Jeremy Irons, so it's like, well, he's gonna be a bad guy. Like, he's gotta be a bad guy. It's Jeremy Irons.
See, that's...
Like, he's gonna pretend to help him out, but really it's gonna blow up, and it turns out he was the Joker the whole time. Like, that's what I was waiting for. I'm like, it's like, dude, you're crazy. But no.
See, it's making me...
This is a really shitty butler.
It's making me want to see the standalone Ben Affleck movie. But if anyone in this movie was going to turn out to be the Joker, it wasn't Jeremy Irons. It was fucking Tumbly McFucking Facebook as Lex Luthor. What the fuck was that?
Oh, man. That was... If Lex Luthor was, instead of being Lex Luthor, was...
Lenny Luthor?
Equal parts, like, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
And, like,
Edward Nygma.
Yeah, Jim Carrey as
Yeah.
the Riddler.
This is such a cynically written character because it's like we need like a ledger or something. We need like to get some quirky thing we can throw in this movie that we can put quotes on t-shirts and sell them in stores.
Yeah, and everything he says sounds like it fell out of some like epic poem by Milton.
Psychopath's a 3-letter word that's too big for your head. Like,
yeah, it's like
fuck
he's just
off.
made out of twitches and ticks. Like, I'm pretty sure he just had mild Tourette's was what he was going for his character. Like weird like neck kinks and shit like that when he's talking. No, that's think that and just like randomly talking to himself. Like it's like cool. This is almost. I don't know. It felt just embarrassing to watch. Like,
yeah.
Like, did you feel good doing that in front of the camera? Because like I feel like if you wrote a character and said like, act like this, I'd feel really stupid the entire time.
And I've written some very Admiral Crackers.
You've written some very stupid things for me to do, and yet this performance from
is less dignified.
Yeah.
Than eating oyster crackers in a bowl of milk and ODing. No, like because it feels less like creating this character as an actor and doing your own thing with the script, and more like we need something quirky, something funny, something just twitch. I don't know, maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. Try to make like the kids who shop at Hot Topic fucking laugh so we can turn you into the fucking Joker.
Because yeah, he's basically like he's doing a caricature of something,
and it is never funny. It is always distracting.
Yeah, it's never likable. It never comes across like this is a compelling character. No, it's just him just hamming it up like he's fucking Zeppo Marx.
He flat out ruins whole sequences, like the scene at the party with Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent debating each other, giving each other the evil eye, being intense as shit.
And then he just wanders into frame like, well, hi, guys.
Uh-huh.
Does everything but hit him with like a pie in the face. It's like, what the fuck? Just go away. There was actually dialogue happening between the two lead characters of this movie, and now they're going to spend the next 45 minutes not talking.
Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, oh my god, together at last.
It's like, why would you even phrase it like that?
Yeah, I just paid for to see a movie called Batman v Superman. I figured that would happen in this movie.
But like, character motivation in this means nothing. Like the fact that he's super excited for these two to meet. A junior reporter, and who for some reason got invited to this party. Like, I mean, he was fucking assigned the sports page. Why is he at this event? And then it's like, oh man, like this cub reporter is finally talking to Bruce Wayne, billionaire philanthropist. Like, okay, sure.
This is one of those movies where I'm afraid plot points that I would bring up about it and questions about it are probably answered in the movie, but I was checked out so hard.
They're usually not. 'Cause like one of my biggest things that I had an issue with in the movie, like just skipping over like whole like sections of story again, like kind of like I kept feeling like we were missing reels, or like I blinked and must have fallen asleep or something. Is like there's stuff happening like like Bruce keeps just mentioning like, it's like, no, I don't fucking trust that guy, he's a piece of shit, I know it.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later he is standing on a rooftop in the rain, decked out in a suit of fucking armor, like he's gonna try to fight Iron Man. And okay, it's like, when was any of this like there was a montage of him like fucking around with that big chunk of kryptonite, but like, okay, so he just had that suit already. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's a dumb thing. Like, I don't just assume, like, it's like, well, it didn't show him put pants on, but he's wearing pants. Like, no, like, this seems like a thing, like, he's been gearing all of his motivations towards this. It shows him, like, crafting the weapon, but then it just, like, and then he shows up in that. It's like,
because you
just have that? Like, did you just pick that up at the store on the way here? Like...
Because you can tell that, I mean, this is a 2.5 hour movie, and you can tell that there had to have been at least like 3-4 hours worth of shit shot, and they chopped it down to 2.5 hours. They should have chopped it down even farther than they did.
Well, and some stuff like run out of sequence to make it fit better with how they recrafted things. You could tell, like, whenever like Lex Luthor goes back to like the alien ship and like you know, goes inside and like figures out how to turn it on, like it's just the annoying nitpick. But it's like oh, he's wearing like the same leisure suit that he was wearing like at the very beginning of the movie when he's starting to walk towards it. I'm like, so this is just that scene. So this,
yeah, again,
like, this should have been at the beginning of the movie.
This could be put here. This could be put there. This could be put there, and you could switch them all around. And I would, again, like, this movie would make just as much sense to me. Like, there are so many moments in this movie that seem to be designed for like the cheer moment, like the crowd is gonna be like, woo, yeah, or something like that. Batman and Superman coming face to face when they're fighting, Wonder Woman showing up in costume and the like start
with
playing.
brought her theme music.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there like, this is doing nothing for me. Like, I can't. This doesn't even seem to be doing anything for the audience. There was no cheering. There was no giving a shit about any of this.
That was the quietest theater I've ever been.
And it was crowded. I mean, it was a crowded theater.
Yeah, it's just a hush fell over the crowd. Not in shock and awe, but just watching. It's like, because I almost feel like this is the sort of movie, like, and this shouldn't be that way for a fucking comic book movie, but like, I feel like if you didn't pay attention for a minute, you would probably be kind of lost, just because like stuff just happens out of nowhere. Like, there's no lead up to, like, you know, once they eventually start fighting, there's no lead up to that. It's just a normal scene, and then it cuts to like them getting ready to have a standoff. It's like there's never any like setup for like.
Oh, you mean when he rips the hood off of the Batmobile and says?
Well, yeah, even that, like, he's just like Batman turns a corner and he's just standing there like, hey, sup? But like, even like when they decide to like actually like fight, like whenever like Batman's in like the big armor suit and up there on the rooftop and turns on the signal,
and that had to do with Lex Luthor basically blackmailing Superman into fighting Batman, and him somehow managing, like, he's claiming responsibility for him being over there at that exact moment in time, based off of him manipulating a couple of events, like sending that guy's like disability paychecks back to Bruce Wayne and shit like that. It's like, okay, so wait, so you know that Bruce Wayne is Batman? Like, and how do you know who Superman is? Like you just knew where to like drive to in the middle of Kansas to pick up his mom? Like, I had completely forgotten at the beginning of this movie that Lois Lane and Clark Kent were a couple, because it's one of those things.
I forgot that they, like, I knew that they knew each other, like had figured it out in the first movie, but I forgot that they were an item,
and they're an item. Because that's it. Like that relationship, you can tell, like, it's dying on the vine already. Like, they live together because like he can't find a place and she needs someone to help cover rent. And that fight between Batman and Superman is one fast and nothing more than them just kind of throwing each other into shit, and like a lot of things, I mean, there's no consequences to it. They fight, and then Superman's like, Martha!
It's like, what? It's like, Martha! It's like, my mom's name is Martha. It's like, oh, I guess we're friends now.
Yeah. Wait, you like that one thing I like? Oh, we're friends now.
Like, he's just completely floored, like, wait, okay, I get that your mom's name was Martha and she died, and that was really sad, and it was the last thing you heard your dad say, like, croaking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I get that. But then in the course of the next 40 years, you've never heard anyone else with that name. Like, it's just never come up before.
Well, not someone from the sky.
Or does he just get that staggered, like, every time, like at a fucking, like, Starbucks, and they're like, okay, I got a grande for Martha. It's like, what'd you say?
His mom's name's like my name.
It's like, and yeah, like, instantly he's like, oh, I'm really sorry I tried to kill you. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Let's go blow up some shit in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, did you notice how they kept throwing out, like, well,
like,
thank God the city's abandoned.
It's like, no, it's okay. All these buildings that are blowing up, it's because we're out here on the piers, the abandoned piers. No one lives out here.
Every time they did that, they kept doing that. I was like, yeah, all right, half the city's gonna get destroyed again.
This is a rather large area that's being completely demolished.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all kinds of buildings, power plants, like, industrial structures. It's like, no, it's the piers. No one's here. It's like, just have a fucking ghost town here? Like, what the fuck? Also, I don't know why, but it just kind of bugs me, the fact that apparently Gotham City is... Pew! Just,
it's across the river.
It's just right across the river.
Is that in any of the comics that they're that close?
They're marginally close. Like, I feel like it's something stupid. Like, Metropolis isn't, like, New York City still exists in the DC books, but Metropolis is close by. It's in like, it's somewhere stupid. Like, it's in like Delaware or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, Gotham is like right down like in like Massachusetts or somewhere. Like, they're close. Like, it's an afternoon drive up like the eastern seaboard, but it's not like hey man, I'm gonna see if I can throw this rock across and hit Gotham.
Yeah, it looks like there are shots where it just looks like it's the same city.
Like, yeah, they make it like a couple times they make it sound like it's like I need to get to Gotham City. It's like okay. It's like but then like you see it and it's like
you see the bad signal up.
It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's seriously
Or how,
just across the river. Well, there is that one little island in the middle that gets almost completely destroyed as well.
Yeah.
But again, they make sure to point out, like, it's like they landed on this island. Like, where is it? Like, it's in the harbor. Don't worry, it's completely uninhabited. Like, thank God for that one.
you guys have already killed like 200 people in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
Batman's killed like an easy 50 on his own.
Superman crushing that guy through the like 5 concrete walls. I kind of lost my shit. I was laughing at that. Or like, okay,
I'm sure he's fine.
He's fine. Don't worry about that. Okay, at the beginning of the movie, when it's the climax of Man of Steel, only it's doing it from Bruce Wayne's point of view. There's actually a few intense stuff in that scene. Affleck's really good in it. But there's when he called his building. Like, Jack, my God, get out of the building.
Like, everyone's sitting at their cubicles working. He's like, what? Looks out the window, and it's like the end scene from Man of Steel, like the big machine there, like pumping away, like blowing up buildings. It's like, oh, we should get out of here, guys.
There's already, by the time he turns, there's already been like 10 buildings that have collapsed.
Yeah, like it's already spread out. Like it's eaten up a couple city blocks.
like, Jack, why are you even still in this building? This is on you, man. All right.
It's like, yeah, like as he's walking to the window, it's like everyone is still just in the back. Like no one's freaking out, grabbing shit, running. Like everyone is just working. Mm-hmm. It's like, look out the fucking window. Like, I know it's the city, and like in the city you kind of get like city blinders on where like you don't really pay attention to stuff sometimes, but like
you don't think like during 9/11 there was a guy who just turned around and just went, huh?
No shit. I don't know, I still got expense reports. Boss is gonna have my ass.
This is one of those bizarre things because, like, this is getting okay, Man of Steel ended up being in my 10 worst that year. This one won't. But I can see why this is getting worse reviews because I I don't know what there is no way I would ever watch this movie again.
No, there's no rhyme or reason to things. There's just scenes are happening because like it seems like important things are skipped wholesale, and then some of the stuff that's in there is just in there to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like
yeah,
like the intense scene of like Diana Prince getting on and off of an airplane. It's like, okay.
yeah. Any of the setup to the Justice League stuff.
That was so heavy-handed. It's like, here, look at all these files of other metahumans. It's like each one's basically a fucking teaser trailer for that respective movie. It's like,
Yeah.
cool.
It's like, I don't care. This could be cut. I mean, it doesn't do that as bad as like Amazing Spider-Man 2 did, where that was like 80% of the movie, but it's still shit that did not need to be in this fucking bloated ass movie. I'm having a hard time. I don't recommend this movie,
No.
but I'm having a hard time even if you really like Man of Steel, maybe you might like this.
I feel like this is one of those movies that whatever your opinion of what it's going to be is going in, this movie is not going to change in the slightest. Like, I didn't think it was going to be good, and that's exactly how it was. I'm sure there are people who are just eating this thing up, but it's like
I went
they
in
were probably
optimistic.
the people like going into it thinking like, yeah, I think this is going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for the kind of superheroes they are and the kind of superhero movie they're trying to make and trying to lead this into, it's too dark, it's too grim, it's too wrapped up in the same sort of stuff that I had a problem with in Man of Steel. It's like too much time is focused on building the world we're in and not enough time on actually doing anything with the characters. It's like I know more about like the geopolitical ramifications of having an unchecked Superman on the loose than I do about like where does Bruce Wayne live?
Stately Wayne Manor.
You'd think. But a couple times during the movie, and there's even that one scene where they go there to Wayne Manor, it's completely burned to the ground.
Oh, that's because Wayne Manor was like that shootout at the end of Skyfall.
It's like, why is this house burned to the ground? Is it from when it burned down in like the Christian Bale ones? No, because that's totally separate thing. So why is this fucking house burned down? Never talks about it. They don't address it. That one scene, like, Bruce Wayne wakes up and there's some chick in bed, and then, like, 2 seconds later, like, he's sitting at the table in the same place talking to Alfred, like, was that Alfred?
They keep very close quarter. Look, it's obvious Bruce has night terrors. It's one thing that's proven in this movie.
Master Bruce, roll over, you're snoring. But no, it's just like, it's just... I don't know, like, that is a question I'm honestly curious about. Because, like, they keep driving out to the middle of nowhere. It shows him, like, driving into and out of the woods. But you never see where the fuck he's going. You see him, like, there's this big-ass house, completely gutted.
Is he going to, like, that hole he fell in?
I can...
The hole he fell in Batman Forever?
I can only assume. But yeah, that's the thing is, like, it's just one of those weird things is like that they don't establish. It's like, fuck, I at least know where like Superman lives. Like he and Lois like have like some fucking like walk up in like Midtown. Like, okay, fine, fuck it, whatever. I understand that he lives someplace. I understand that Bruce Wayne lives someplace, but it's like to set something like, why is the house burned down? You know, it's stuff that that's happening, and they never address it. It's like, for that scene, like, I'd be just as confused if, like, they were just, like, suddenly having dialogue in the middle of, like, a fucking carnival, you know? It's like he's standing next to the Ferris wheel. It's like, yeah, the first generation of Waynes, they were hunters. It's like...
Meanwhile, at the carousel, Frank Castle's family gets killed.
Ooh.
Batman probably shot him.
Probably. In this movie, probably.
I was honestly too uninterested to even think about, like, when they they got to, like, him
it's
and
just, it's just odd things. Like, I find that to be weird.
I mean, when stuff like that popped up in the movie, I think I was kind of like, here we go, another scene of walking in slow motion through a field. Here we go, another establishing shot of entering this house. I don't have a problem with a movie like this being dark. I don't have a problem with it being grim, but I want it to be entertaining.
Well, but that's my thing is, like, if they're shooting to try to make this, like, a big franchise, you know, along the lines of stuff like what Marvel's done with the Avengers movies, this movie, along with Man of Steel, I honestly don't think plays to kids. I mean, I mean, there's going to be kids in seats, and there's going to be action figures sold, but I don't feel like this movie was written for anybody under the age of, like, 18 anyway.
This movie in particular, no.
It's geared for an entirely adult audience.
And
like,
you know what? If they want to...
the stuff they're talking about, like, it's like, oh man, like having, like, Senate subcommittee hearings. But, like, actually serious ones, not, like, joking around like they did in, like, Iron Man 2.
I mean, it's trying to be a more mature, more adult comic book movie in the vein of, like, the Dark Knight movies and stuff like, especially with Christopher Nolan's name on this. I don't have a problem with... I mean, I think that makes sense that, like, if they're going to do a theatrical universe, DC versus Marvel, it makes sense to me that a movie DC universe would be a different tone than the Marvel movies were. Otherwise, it'd be, well, DC's just doing... Not that every Marvel movie is light, but, like, more kind of pulpy stuff like that. It makes sense to me that, like, there would be something like this that would be a bit grim, a bit dark, a bit more for an adult audience, but it's not entertaining enough it's not entertaining enough to be good. Yeah, it's dark, but, like, because it's not easy to follow, there's not good characters in it, it's, again, not an entertaining film. You're sitting there watching this bleak looking movie and it drains you.
Yeah, it's like morose people who are sad about a lot of stuff for their own reasons, and then they fight at night in the rain.
Yeah, and this is why, like, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, this is why I would rather watch something like Superman 4 than this. I'm not comparing them in terms of filmmaking or anything like that. I'm just saying, if I'm going to watch a movie that's got problems, I'll stick with something like Superman 4 that at least is cheerful, and it's like, you got scenes of, like, I can at least see, like, Superman move the moon and make an eclipse over the sun and plug one volcano with another mountaintop. Like, yeah, I would rather watch something like that than just sit here in this and be wanting to go home because I'm sad now.
But yeah, it's I would much rather watch a bad movie that's entertaining.
Yeah, same here.
Than a good movie that's just boring.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say this is a good movie.
Well, but you know what I mean, like it just in broad terms, like there's been plenty of movies we've gone to that have been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But fuck me, it was a fun watch. Like shit, like
London Has Fallen.
London Has Fallen. I was talking to my mom about that on the phone the other day, and she's like, "Oh, I heard it's not very good." I'm like, "It's not. Go fucking watch it, though." It's It's like I heard like a review that was saying like it's just like an hour and a half of people getting shot. It's like,
Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you know what? It doesn't shy away from what it is and what it's supposed to be, and it tries doing nothing higher than its station.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fucking rock'em sock'em 80s action flick. It just never got made until now. Like, go watch it. It's fun. But yeah, I would much rather watch something like that or what the fuck was that that one that Idris Elba movie? I always forget the name of it.
Good Deed.
No Good Deed.
Yeah, because at least it's yeah, like you said, it's entertainingly bad.
It was stupid. It was not a good movie, but it was fun. Like I enjoyed watching it. But this here, I sat there for the fucking however goddamn long this thing is.
2.5 hours, man. And I was, because Irving and Adam were at Greek Wedding 2, and Irving was gonna text me to give me the camera back so I could meet him at the front door to the movie theater. So a couple of times I was checking my phone, and I remember a couple of times being like, because at one point I thought like, oh, it feels like this has been on forever. Did I not feel the phone go off? And I looked at it and I'm like, this movie has only been on for 45 minutes. Like, that's insane. This feels like it's been on for 90 goddamn minutes. And then when the text did go off from Irving, it was when it was a scene that I was enjoying. So, god damn it! It was the scene when I left when Batman was fucking blowing up people with a fucking bat plane.
It came back and like what it was like. It's like, dude, he just killed like I don't know, like 10 fucking guys. Like he just blew them the fuck up.
Dude, I only missed like
on purpose. It wasn't like, oops, they crashed. It's like you ran over their car and pushed it into a fucking wall. And
I saw that. I saw that, like, that scene started and, like, so many people had already died. And I get that text. I'm like, fuck. So I get up. I hurry up. I get the camera. I say bye to Irving. I go back in, and he's still blowing up people.
You know,
amazing.
Like Batman does.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, like their version of Batman in this, like, it's basically like if you combined like Keaton, like 80s Batman with basically like Batman like he is in like the Arkham games.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just like snapping people's arms for no reason.
Yeah.
Has a Batmobile that has Gatling guns on it because why wouldn't it?
He's got like the same kind of like surveillance setup that like Michael Keaton had.
Yeah.
The same kind of chair and everything. I was digging
shitload
that.
of TVs.
Yeah, I was digging that, and it did once again. My final thought on this will be like it makes me look forward to like a solo standalone Affleck Batman movie, because I don't think Zack Snyder will be doing that, and Affleck as Batman is probably like the only thing I liked about this movie.
Yeah, if it could have just been that, I think I would have enjoyed this so much more.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's half of it's a follow-up to Man of Steel, and then the rest of it is just setting up Justice League. I mean, there's never a time when this feels like it's its own movie.
No, it's just a mess. It's a mess. It's a disappointment. It's crazy they let it get so muddled, so unfocused, and put $250 million into this. Just don't. Zack Snyder needs to not do any more of these fucking movies.
Or if he's going to, like, you know, like, yeah, like some of the books that you were pulling from for stuff that was happening in this movie, like, you know, like The Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that. It's like I get it, it's dark material, it's dark subject matter, but you don't have to film everything like you filmed like Watchmen. It's like that formula doesn't apply in all situations.
No, it's like when you look at color added to Man of Steel, like suddenly it's a little more beautiful looking. That your final thought?
Yeah,
I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah,
I was surprised I went this long, honestly.
Because it's like as we were walking out, it's like just I don't even know what the fuck to say. It's like,
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm glad you said that before me, because I was thinking the same thing. At the same time, I was like, we'll find something.
there's enough shit to like nitpick about, and I'm sure that I'm sure that there's going to be people pointing out like that's a small thing. Where does it matter where he sleeps? It's like
they're not going to be listening to what we say. They've already made up their minds about what we said and put it down there. Like, they're not listening. They're like,
dear ass faces.
Yeah. They'll just make up shit like we said, like with the Man of Steel review. Don't worry about that. They've had their responses to this review planned for months.
There's gonna be somebody out there though who's like, oh man, I'm so ready to take these guys to task, and it's like, I mean, they have legitimate concerns this time.
Yeah, if you like this movie, I am not gonna take it away from you. Just like I didn't try taking Man of Steel away from you.
Yeah, and like I said, like there's gonna be somebody who likes this.
Sure.
It's not for me. It's too unfocused. It's too everywhere. It's like they wrote the script with a fucking shotgun. It just whatever hit, and if it didn't hit the target, then that wasn't necessary. You know?
We'll find out here in a couple of days what Dave thinks.
In his 3-hour review.
Yeah. See ya.